Okay, one moment. Okay, so for those of you who are just coming in, do make sure that you have a chair, a somewhat stable chair, and a chair that you can kind of move around. So probably not like a big, heavy living room chair. Some sort of this sort of chair, fold-up chair would be ideal, or like a wooden table chair, dining room chair, something like that. Let's see, and then I'm just gonna add a playlist to the chat if you do want to play some music. So and also feel free to play your own music. This is actually a playlist from one of my teachers, Kobe Kalowski. So, and this is her chair yoga playlist. So, credit to Kobe. I love her music too. She doesn't often share it, so it's kind of lucky that she shared this playlist with us. Okay, and it's called Chair Flow. It is saved on my Spotify, but it's also her name, Kobe Kalowski. Sam, do you want the spelling for that? I'll do it just in case. So COBYKOZLOWSKI. Chair Flow. Okay. I have one more thing to grab. Sorry, guys. All right. So you can come to sit on your chair, and you've got another thing that could be helpful is the blanket for this practice. I didn't say that either, but because what you want to do is create that that tripod base, just like you would if you were in a meditative stance with your feet on the ground. So just like you would in Sukhasana, where you want your where you want your feet and then your knees to be grounded, right? For meditation. You're gonna want the same. Lisa, can you mute yourself? You can do it if you can. I think it's making the echo. So you're gonna want the same thing in seated, so in a chair. So what that means is your feet will be like literally on the chair, and you're gonna come to like the edge, so you're not leaning back. So you've got an erect spine, space for energy to flow. Knees are over the ankles with your legs, and if your feet are not touching the ground comfortably and your knees are lower than your hips, then you want to prop yourself up a little bit. So that could mean a blanket under your feet, Or it could also mean blocks under your feet. Blocks under my feet don't make sense with this chair because now my knees are higher than my hips, so that's not going to be optimal for blood flow. But I could also maybe place a blanket underneath my feet too, because this chair is quite short, so giving myself a little bit of height might be helpful. So kind of figure out your seat, what works best. Yeah, and my knees are pretty high, so I'm going to grab a pillow. Maybe you'll see the difference in my alignment. A pillow might be too high here, and I may instead have a blanket, but actually this will work with the block. And I mean, a pillow or a blanket is nice if you're sitting on a hard chair too, because you'll be on this chair a lot through the practice, so you might want a little bit of cushion. Okay. So once you're there, once you find your tripod base with 2 feet and your seat down on something, block, floor, chair, then you could place your hands down onto your thighs. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, please close your eyes, or else you could land your gaze on a single point and let your eyelids get heavy and your face soften. And then start to breathe bigger than maybe you have all morning. And as you breathe, keep that spaciousness in your torso so that you have this, optimal landing pad for your breath. So the spine is erect, maybe the shoulders are above the hips. Sometimes when we sit for long periods of time, I find that students can start to drop their chins, right? So keep lifting up the chin so that its base is level with the ground beneath you. Notice if you're holding any tension in your jaw. Try to see if you can separate your teeth, let your tongue drop. You might even part the lips a bit. And notice your shoulders. You can let them get heavy, let your shoulder blades drop down the back. And then you'll need to engage some of your deeper core muscles just to sit up tall, right? But you can disengage the more superficial muscles, let your belly get a bit softer so that your breath can flow with the belly. Inhale and press the navel forward the amount. Then exhale, draw the navel back towards the low spine. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. Inhaling and practicing that Dirga breath. So inhaling and feeling the belly button press forward, the rib cage lift, the chest lift. Exhaling, chest drops, ribs drop, navel draws back. Inhaling in 3 parts. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. And now at your own pace. So you can continue your yoga breath. You might start to layer a little bit of ujjayi onto it. It's still moving in three parts, right? But adding in that ocean wave-like sound, that constriction through the back of the throat, vibrate the larynx, right? Making your breath audible, maybe making the breath a bit warmer. Take a big inhale, maybe even bigger than you have been with these three-part breaths. You might hold for just a moment at the top of your breath, top of the inhale, and then exhale. Let it go. You could even open the mouth there. One more time, inhale. Hold at the top of the breath. Exhale. Yeah, and then just start to move your hands on your thighs a bit, forward and back, feeling the warmth of created by friction between your hands and whatever cloth is on your legs or skin. And then you might just take your hands and land them in this little mudra of the inner smile. So no need for an outer smile here, but this is the inner smile mudra. So it's just all your fingers together except your pointer finger. You kind of gather them and touch them inward. And then feel free to keep this mudra and join me in an om or listen. We'll take a deep breath together first. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And then release that. Shake out your hands. And remember that everything I'm offering this morning is optional. I do want you to listen to your own body. Even though you're doing things for learning's sake, we still want you to stay energetically and physically balanced. So please take or leave things that don't work for you. Utilize more props, modify, change things. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back into that breath of joy from yesterday. So I want you to make sure your feet are really stable on the ground here. And then press your sitting bones into your feet a bit more so that you, again, lift up. Take an inhale, send your arms up overhead when you're ready. And then you might take a fist or you might take Adi Mudra again, so that mudra for vitality, energy, and protection. Thumbs come in, and then fingers, over the thumbs. Take a big inhale. Let's look up for a moment. And just from holding the hands up above the head, right, we might already feel some increase in adrenaline, a change in our blood flow, the increase in the heart rate. I'm feeling just a little bit of heat in my arms just from holding them up as well. Big, deep breath. And then just exhale in slow motion to start. Just draw down with your fists, and you can reach your hands back and then open up your hands, and maybe even wiggle your fingers. And then close back into fists. If you're joining me, inhale, sweep your arms up. Just look slightly up here without going into too much extension of the spine just yet. And then exhale, draw back, slow motion, isometrically contract your muscles as you do that. So you start to warm a little bit more through the arms. So inhaling, your fingertips can release, sweep up. And then exhaling, let's make this up here, and then slow motion, come on back. Yeah, and then open the hands, inhale through the nose, and feel free to move with your own breath if my cues aren't matching you. Exhale, come on back through the nose if you're able. Inhale, exhale. So squeeze the muscles in your arms in towards the bone and draw your navel back towards your low spine, especially as you land floating over your thighs. Inhale. One more slow motion. Exhale, squeeze like you're pulling a weight through the air. Inhale. Okay, pause here. You can make those fists. And then if you want to add the Bhastrika or breath of joy, remember it's a forceful inhale and a forceful exhale through the nose. And so feel free to move at my pace or at your own pace. Inhale, exhale. Try for at least 9. Inhale. If you want a few more, feel free. Sweep your arms up. And then let's just stretch a little bit from side to side, reaching right and left like you're reaching up to pick an apple, remain fall. And then arms come down, all the way down, start to fold over your thighs. And if you have blocks on the floor, you could catch the blocks, or you could land your hands on your thighs, your elbows on your thighs, rather, to fold down. Once you're kind of at a point where you can ground somewhere with your hands, could be shins as well, take an inhale and lengthen up through your spine a bit, and then exhale and just fold and let the head go. I'm actually going to wrap my hands around the back of my knees, which can feel really good, really grounding in the chair too. When the head hangs heavy, really allow yourself the gift of a gravitational release, so a heavy head to decompress the cervical spine. The front of the body is quite compressed, right? Got some more blood flow going there, but the back of the body gets a chance to spread and open here. So emphasize that opening with your inhalation. Allow them to help you to expand even more. And stay here for about 5 more breaths. And then when you finish your 5 breaths, I want you to come up and just, if you're not on your side, stack your elbows onto your side. Pause with the head and the heart a bit more level for a moment. And then climb up even higher. And reach for the back of your chair. So you're going to take your hands onto some part of your chair. Could be the edges of your chair, could be like you've got bars in the back, could be bars. And then you're going to have to kind of find an angle that works for your shoulders. So you do want a bit of an external rotation. So my palms are facing in and I'm gripping the sides of the chair. You could slide your feet forward a bit for this too. And then press all 4 corners down into the ground for a little bit more stability. And also anchor through your sitting bones. So press those sitting bones down. It's going to lengthen your low spine and draw your tailbone towards the earth. Take an inhale and just start to let the belly kind of hammock forward. Let the chest start to spread. So sternum can lift up towards the sky. Off into the face. And then with engagement in the sides of the neck, you can start to look up. And now use the inhale to expand further through the front body. Breathe so big that your rib cage starts to spread. If you're feeling tension in your lower back, the angle of your body might be causing a little bit too much of a curve. So try to climb your hands a little further back, and you might even lean back a bit more, and then use those deep core muscles to stabilize. But you got to soften through the more superficial muscles to stretch. So a little bit of a paradox. Sometimes it's hard to kind of separate them. I tend to find more deep core engagement by thinking about lifting my pelvic floor, and then I can kind of feel my deeper core muscles after I lift my pelvic floor up. Those are included in those deep core muscles, right? But that starting at the inner thighs and pelvis and then working my way up in my mind helps me to bring a little bit more, or to utilize my neuromuscular awareness there. Okay, so let's take one more breath here. And then slowly come back to a neutral spine. You can keep gripping the edge of your chair. And I want you to lift your left arm up overhead. And take a moment to kind of lift the shoulder blade up off of the back, and then slide it back down towards a more neutral face, and then sit over to the side. And so I'm gripping the side of my chair here. I may need to bend my elbow depending on how much lateral flexion I need in the spine to feel a stretch through my side body this morning. So pay attention to that. Big inhale. And then exhale, let's come on back through. We'll release that hand down. Grip the opposite side of the chair. Inhale your left arm up, or right arm, sorry, and then sweep or reach up to take that shoulder blade up. Put off the back. Exhale, neutralize it, and start to tip over in the opposite direction. And again, pay attention to what you're feeling and adjust that opposite arm if need be. Maybe rotate your eyes upwards. Breathe in. Often breathe out. Come on back through. It would feel good to roll out the shoulders a bit. Feel free, or to press the chin and rock the head a little bit. Yeah, and then let's take the hands out behind us again. So you could grip the chair. You could also take yogic seal. If you want a little bit more of an opening for the chest. Or you could reach for your elbows. But make sure that you do switch which arm is on top about halfway through if you're taking that variation. So gripping the back of the chair, taking yogic seal. Again, wash your feet out a little bit further than under the knees. So there's not quite a 90-degree angle on your leg, just to balance out the upper body's weight. So big inhale. If your hands are in that yogic seal clasp, you might have to slide them out from under your chair. And then we're going to start to fold forward again. You can relax your head, but knees reset. You can inhale with the spine, and then exhale and fold again. And feel free to open up your legs a little wider here too. If you want to get deeper in your fold, that might give you access to sink further down. Or you can rest on your legs if they're together. Breathe in, and out. 2 more. Press the knuckles away from you. And if you're gripping the chair, you're not going to be able to come quite as far down with an external rotation in your shoulders, right? So feel it out. You might stay a little higher. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let's press into the feet. Lift back up. You might shake out your hands again if you need to get blood flowing. And then I want you to just take your right leg and start to grip the sides of the chair again. And we're just going to lift the knee and the upper thigh off the ground. So your foot will float up too, but we'll keep a 90-degree angle. And then I want you to start to engage again from your deep core muscles and a little bit more of the superficial muscles now that we're in a neutral spine. So draw up and in from your pelvic floor. Lift, and then you can feel in the abdomen. My navel just starts to automatically go back after I do that. It's like the bandhas are all connecting and wanting to engage. So Mula Bandha, a little bit of Uddiyana Bandha. Breathe in and out. Now my foot is floating up off the ground, right? Doesn't matter which foot you have here. I'm not mirroring you this time, so I've got my right. And I'm going to take the top of my thigh. You can touch it if you want, just to say, hey, thigh. And I'm going to engage even more through my quadricep muscles and just start to pulse up towards the sky. Staying really engaged here. Breathe in and out. And a little pulse. And then exhale. Pause. Keep breathing, but you can stop pulsing. Nice. And then relax that foot down. Okay, I want you to take the same legs, whatever leg you were just on, and you might place it on top of your thigh here for a moment. And stretch through the outer hip. You can take one hand and just gently press in the inner thigh or inner knee, if that feels okay. Full round of press. And then take this leg and let it just slide over. You're welcome to stay in that figure four. So you're crossing your legs. And then we'll inhale both arms up. Yeah, and as you exhale, turn and twist to the side. So one hand can gather on the back of, or that side of your thigh. Another hand could reach for the back of your chair. And then start to turn a little bit more from your hips and waist, chest. And then maybe you start to look back over that right shoulder. To release the back arm to start, you might have to kind of unlead it from the chair. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, let the palms come together this time and the hands release down to the center of our bodies, maybe thumb knuckles on the sternum. And then unravel the legs. Keep pressing your feet down into your mat. Engage again through your center, through your power center. Flex your toes, and then lift your opposite foot up off the ground. So you're keeping a 90-degree angle here. The quadriceps, the upper thigh will have to engage, belly has to stay engaged. You can grip the sides of your chair, and then start to pull up. And you're not only are you taking this little pulse, but also hug the muscles in towards the bone. And so the more muscles you engage through your legs, the more we'll have some support for the joints and the larger muscles doing a lot of big work too. Okay, lift up and pause, breathe. So the breath isn't pausing, right? But the movement is pausing. Release the pulse. There's always little tiny micro movements going on, even just from our breath. Nice, and then relax that down. You might need to widen your feet a bit here. So place a foot onto the thigh. And if you want more sensation, one hand starts to press downward to create more external rotation in your head. So listen to the joints. And then let that leg just slide over, so we're crossing the legs. And you're welcome to keep that figure four shape. Inhale, your arms lift up overhead. Exhale, turn and twist. And again, your backhand might grip the chair somewhere. And that grip might help you to deepen your twist, but still allow it to start from the base up. So hips and navel, and rib cage and chest, and then maybe. Full breath in and out. And then inhale, come on back to the center. Sweep the arms up, press the palms in. Exhale, your hands down to your heart. When your hands come down to your heart, you might unravel your legs. There's a place in the body that's calling for your hands to touch. Feel free to move your hands to a place on your body that needs a little bit of love or attention. You might close your eyes and kind of align as if you were in standing Tadasana. So stacking shoulders over hips, the knees over the ankles. It's not the same alignment, right? But there's that stacking
elements. There's that creation of space with the spine and the torso for breath. Connect to the ground beneath you by actually pressing your feet a little firmer in, and then connect to the sky above you by reaching the crown of the head a little higher up. And then inhale, arms sweep back up overhead. This time, exhale, turn your palms, and once again, we'll just fold forward. Maybe you're catching the ground, maybe you're catching blocks. And then inhale, lift up halfway with your spine, and maybe reach your arms back for a little bit more balance. Palms in, engage again in your belly, and then inhale, sweep, arms up. Exhale. Back down. All right, I want you to take your right leg and draw it over to the side. So you're just going to slide it over to the side. And you can be on your heel, almost as if you're kind of in like a side lunge, or almost like skandasana, but with the chair underneath you, a little bit higher. Take your opposite leg and heel throw it over to the side as well. So this knee is bent, this leg is straight. I'm going to see if you can see a little bit more if I push the camera back. Yeah. So like kind of skandasana slash warrior two like legs. And I'm going to have to kind of reposition and just come a little further back on my chair to balance here, so you could kind of play with that too. Awesome. And then I'm going to slide my leg a little bit further out, so you can notice that inner leg line. If you want a little bit more external rotation, and you are able to do that without dropping the opposite knee in, then you might do that. Okay, so right now my toes are lifted and my heel is down. So I'm going to stay with that. We'll take our hands to our hips, press down, inhale, lengthen up. Breathe in, breathe out. Yeah, and then just slowly slide that heel over, nice, and open up into a little bit of a kind of a wide squat on the chair. You can land your toe ball down if they're floating up, and adjust if you start to feel any cramping or any tension in the hips, to find an angle away from the midline of your body that feels right for you. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Nice. Exhale, draw the hands down to the heart. Let's do it again. Inhale, sweep both arms up. And this time, if you want, turn your palms forward and make those goddess arms. Squeeze muscle in towards ball. Maybe you're taking that inner smile mudra with everything but the pointer fingers touching. And then lengthen. Inhale. Exhale. Press the feet a little firmer down into the ground, and press your sitting bones a little firmer into your chair. I'm actually breathing heavily right now because I'm so engaged in my core and in my pelvic floor, in my seat and through my legs, and I'm flexing my toes. Like, you can do quite a bit of work here. I'm engaged through my arms. Okay, inhale, I want you to open up a little bit more by pinching your shoulder blades together on your back and looking up. And then exhale, you can release the mudra or you can keep it. I want you to close your arms and just tuck your chin. So you don't have to come into like a full cat-cow on your spine. It might be a little bit more focused on the cervical spine and a bit on the thoracic spine here. But you don't have to be tipping the pelvis too much. If that's helpful, you can move the wave through your spine down into lumbar. Exhale, inhale to open. I'm feeling spreading my fingers now. So maybe you listen to the energy in your hands. Adjust your mudras. You're welcome to take mudras I'm not offering as well. Okay, inhale, open. Exhale, release your hands back down to the hips. And then we're just going to switch sides of the legs. So one knee might come in, put straight, and the opposite leg out to the side. And again, flex the toes and land on the heel. And adjust your seat if you need to. Press down into the hips. Take a big in-breath. And a full out-breath. One more round. Awesome. And then just slide back to center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, open through the chest. Exhale, slide. and forearms together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Nice. Exhale. Okay, I want you to inhale, come all the way out and open, and then let your arms drop down. Reach for your lower back or your chair again here. Press through your feet, and then a little bit of final extension. You can press your hips forward and lift the chest up. Find a full round of breath. Inhale, inhale, and then exhale. Realign. Awesome. Slide your legs back together. And then you can grip the sides of your chair again. And I want you to lift up your left leg. So I am mirroring you now, but feel free to do the other side. That's fine. Squeeze the thigh. And then this time I want you to roll out your ankle a little bit, relax your ankle, and point your toes down towards the ground. And then start to lift that leg a little higher than you did before, up and down. So not so much of a little micro pulse, but a bigger movement. You might tap your toes down and then lift your thigh towards your chest, or towards your torso and wrist. And try to use chest a little bit less than I teach after our discussion yesterday. Okay, the next time your leg comes up, if you want, extend it out long. Point, breathe. 3 deep breaths. And then exhale, drop. You can keep the leg straight, drop it down to the ground, lift it up. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, slide that foot back. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Exhale for one down. So Vinyasa, follow your breath. Let some of your movement connect with it when you're able to here. We're going to start to lift with the opposite leg. So start to lift up and then point your toes down towards the ground and tap down and up a few times so that the thigh is coming closer to your upper body. Breathe. And then lift the leg up and straighten and hold. Again, stay really engaged in your center. If you start to round in the spine, lift the top of the shoulders up towards the sky, lengthen through the spine, breathe. You've really got to use those quadricep muscles here. Yeah, and then tap it down, lift it up, exhale, inhale. You can even do a little bit streak your breath here. Exhale, inhale. Nice, and then soften down, slide back, inhale, arms come up overhead. And exhale, let's fold down. Inhale, little halfway lift. Exhale, lower. And inhale all the way back up. Exhale. Release. Okay, take your right leg and slide it over to the side again. And then left leg comes out of it too. And again, you might need to adjust yourself on your chair. And we're going to straighten out that right leg. And then I want you to, you might take a moment and actually, it might work better to position the opposite leg a little closer to center. You have blocks that could be really helpful here to place on either side of your right leg. And then inhale, keep your arms up overhead, and my heel is pressing down, my toes are pointing up. Exhale, we're going to fold over that leg. So you can start to climb your hands forward. Your hands could be landing on your thigh if you don't have blocks, or on the block. Take a little micro breath and inhale, halfway lift, like thigh. Exhale, melt down. And you can stay relatively still here, or you can keep that subtle wave of movement to find to encourage depth in the stretch. Another round of breath. And slowly come up, climb onto your thigh. And now I'm going to take my toes and turn them forward. So turn your toes and let your outer ankle start to point towards the side. So you've got kind of a warrior 2 foot where you're able to press down into that outer arch. And then heel toe, opposite left leg, over, and find a little bit of an angle. I'm going to come more to the tip of my chair now to see how that feels. So I've got kind of warrior 2 legs, but I'm sitting chair. I'm going to start to root my sitting bones down a little bit more too. And then inhale, take your arms out to the side. Rotate your gaze over your left fingertips. Press down through your feet and go a little longer with your spine. Breathe in and out. And out. And then slowly sit back. The right hand can come down onto the leg. Reaching up overhead. Breathing fully. And coming all the way back to center. Hands can come to the hips. Slide that leg over and come back towards a wide squat. Inhale, take your arms out. Exhale, goddess arms. Inhale, open. Exhale, feel free to take those mudras forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale all the way back out. You can take your hands to the back of the chair. And again, start to open. Really focusing on the middle of the spine and the upper back. Front of the torso. Really coming back towards center. And then we're just going to slide in the opposite direction. So you might take your right leg in a bit as you extend out through your left leg. You can position your blocks if you have them on either side of that side. And then again, find a place on your seat that makes sense. Take an inhale, lengthen up. You can scoop your arms up. And then exhale, fold down over that leg. And I'm flexing my toes here. I'm driving my heel down into the grass for more balance. And to emphasize the stretch to my back leg line. Just inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, and fold. And you can keep doing that a little ways in your spine, or you can rest relatively still over that side. Okay, so then slowly climb up the side. And we're going to slide now, right leg over. You can open up through both sides. Turn your toes on that left foot forward and press down through the outer arch. You're rotating your outer ankle to the side as well. When you're ready, press through your feet, lift your arms, and rotate your eyes over your front fingertips. Legs into the spine, press down to the feet, breathe in and out. And out, and then inhale, slide that arm back. Yeah, exhale. Come on, back towards center. Legs come in, back towards that squat. Inhale. Exhale, hands come to that old pose shape. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Also, this time, inhale. Come on out. Release your hands down to your hips. And then slide them out a little bit more towards the thighs and lean forward. Take an inhale, press through your feet, lengthen through your spine. And then exhale, dip your right shoulder down. Inhale, come on back to center. Exhale, dip your left shoulder down. Inhale, come on back to center. Just move a little bit from side to side. You can pause if something feels really juicy, or you can vinyasa. Connect your breath with your movement intentionally. Particularly that ujjayi breath. You call on it here. Coming back to center when you're all done. Inhale your arms up overhead, heel toe your legs together, and then exhale, let's fold down over the legs. Inhale, take a halfway lift, and this time again, take your arms out along the sides of the body for a little bit of balance. Palms in. Keep the breath flowing. And then inhale, sweep your arms out. Exhale, hands can come through and down. Hands on the thighs. Take a few deep breaths, or on the body somewhere. we're in a mudra, I really want you to start to listen to the energy in your hands as you practice. Use your hands as a vehicle for pranic flow. So you might have seen my hands just started to wiggle as I brought them down. That felt so good. So no reason to not help them facilitate the flow and release of prana in your body. So when you're ready, we're going to use the chair in a little bit of a different way. So you're going to come up off of your chair and come to the back of it. So you're going to kind of use the back of it as a grip and up. And so to start, I just want you to take your hands on your chair, make sure you're balanced, press the chair kind of down, keep moving into it a bit, and then walk your feet just a little bit back. Just start to circle out your head. And try to really press forward enough that you feel a little bit of a stretch to your hip flexors. And then switch direction. And then walk so that your feet are underneath your hips again. And use the chair for balance. If you want, you can reach left hand towards your ankle and take a little bit of a quadrant stretch. Draw your knees in line with one another, and then keep your heel closer to your feet. Breathe in. And then release that leg. Both hands on the chair. You can let it float for a moment. And step it back. And then reposition that front knee. And your hands can be on the chair here. Your hips might rotate towards the chair as well. Okay, and then just keep the right hand on the chair and then the left arm up. The big breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let that hand slide down to your hip. And then rotate your hips towards the side, away from the chair. You can keep your right toes facing forward, back toes could angle out any amount for the warrior two leg. And then just extend that left arm out. And you look forward, and if you feel balanced, you could release your hands to the chair. Or an option for you or for your students would be to sit in the chair. Breathe in. Breathe out. Press to the feet. Inhale. Reach back if you want to release the chair, right? Let exhale, come on down. Both hands on the chair. Rotate your hips forward. Full breath in. Full breath out. I want you to step forward. And then use the chair for a chair. So here's the chair. Walk a little bit further away from it. And then sit back and down. Okay, so engage in your belly. Flex your toes. Pelvis is in neutral though. Left arm up. Right hand stand up the chair. And then maybe take that little step and just do a little one arm motion and just slide back. You could do a little bit of breath here. Or you can just move the shoulder. Feel free to release the fingers and move them as it feels right. So if you're too heavy on one side, like that will even out, but just keeping the shoulders somewhat even, release that down, and up, and up. Okay, straighten your legs, let your hips flow, start to walk your feet even further back now. You can slide your chair forward until you've got the chest down, even let your toes open a bit. To get similar stretch to downward facing dog, so we're opening up the back line, right? So you might be able to keep your heels down here, which might not be accessible if you're down dog on your back. So you may feel more space to lower legs. You are welcome to lift your heels and bend your knees if you would. And inhale. Head forward, almost as if you're coming towards the plank. Now be careful if your chair slides like mine does. What you can do is you can start towards the wall. I'm going to put my chair towards the wall and then come in towards the plank here. And it does take a lot of engagement to hold and balance for me to be safe with the chair. Neutralize your pelvis. Breathe in. Breathe out. If you wanted to, you could lower down to the chair by bending the elbows, keeping a little bit of a push up, and then press the base of the chair. Okay, breathe in. Breathe out. And then start to let your hips drop towards the chair as your chest opens, almost as if you're coming into upward facing dog. And then exhale. Slow motion to come back. Okay. So that seat is not quite so inverted. That's sideways seat. Okay, slowly walk forward towards the chair, or towards the chair back a bit. You gotta make sure it's nice and stable. Breathe deeply. And then when you're ready, left hand can stay in the chair, and we'll reach the right hand back for the ankle. And feel free to use the strap here as well. Externally rotating the shoulder. The heel comes towards the feet, and we'll line up the knees to lengthen the front side. Breathing out soft through that left knee as well, so that the blood continues to flow, prana continues to flow. When you're ready, release that foot and step back to a high lunge. This time, left hand will stay on the chair. Right arm will come out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Exhale. Exhale. And then slowly release onto your hip. Start to turn your legs. They are in that one straight track, so we're draw lines to front heel length, expect that back arch. Dial out the back toes into a position that makes you feel like there's not too much pressure on your hips, but you're getting a little bit of line. And then right arm can come back, close release your left arm to the head. Oh, good. You feel our back, inhale. Down, down, and rotate your hips forward, and step forward, and come back into chair, on the chair, so waiting to walk back a bit for balance, with your hips in. Breathe out, inhale, right arm up. If you want to make it feel about hip distance in the chair, you might make a fist, exhale, slide it down, we have fingers a little bit of slow motion, or add in a couple. Let's drink a breath. Now, both hands on the chair, a little deeper. And then slide out, grip the chair, walk your feet back, find that inverted V-like shape. Exhale. Dry breath. Inhale, slide forward into the plank. So again, make sure your chair is stable here. Engage throughout the whole body, not just the core, the whole and the balance. Lift up. Use that little banda. Pelvis forward. A little bit in the glutes, the front of the legs, the inner thigh. And then bend the elbows. Exhale towards the chair. Inhale back up. Okay. And then exhale if you want. You can start to walk your feet in, drop your hips forward, and then inhale a little bit to your chest. And exhale. Okay, inhale, let that weight come through your spine, walk forward, and then you can land into Tadasana with hands on the chair or along the sides of the body, either way. Okay, I want you to turn, so make sure that your chair is again positioned somewhere where it feels like it's not on the side. I'm going to put mine towards the wall, but with the back of the chair further away. And then I'm going to press my hands onto the chair. And you could also just do this on the wall and walk my feet forward a bit. Let's externally rotate the shoulders, so take them away from the midline of your body. Press your hips forward, steady your mouth. Draw the lower spine and the tail down towards here. Engage through the center, but soften through the superficial muscles of the belly. Squeeze the shoulder blades in and start to open the chin. Lift the chin, squeeze in. And now keep pressing the hips forward like you would in Vinyasa. Handle. Full breath. Exhale, let it go, realign. And in flexion, you can have hands on the chair or on the body or on the side. And just slowly walk it back. Your chest drop. As they're about shoulders distance apart or wider, you can always grip the chair. Breathe in. Nice, and then move forward. We're going to turn the chair again and come to sit just for a moment. And you can sit with your feet about hip distance apart. Inhale, sweep your arms up, but they can always come wider if that feels better. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift your arms. You can do that. Exhale, lower. Okay, inhale all the way back up. And then take your arms out to the side and wrap right arm over left. Thumb knuckles to come to the third eye center. Take a deep breath and just lift out. And then exhale. Drop that. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, drop down. Feel free to stay still if you don't want this little micro movement. More than a micro movement. This is pretty visible. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, release your arms. Come back to a neutral spine. Hands to the edges of the chair. And slide your right foot forward. Take an inhale and an exhale. And then engage in your belly, lift up with that leg. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale. Exhale. I want you to lower that leg and now slide both feet forward. Slide back on your chair a bit. And then you might play with lifting both legs. It could just be an inch off the ground. You want to be a little bit higher. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Nice. And then breathe out and relax your legs. Take your left or your left leg and cross it over your right. And then inhale both arms up. Things come out to the side. And then again, right arm now over your left. So finding opposite to the arms move like here and it's equal. And then inhale, lift up your elbows. Nice. And exhale. Curl down, tap the thighs. Inhale. Exhale. So we're Vinyasa in here. That's Vinyasa aim. I don't know if that's the word, but we're moving with our breath with intention, with purpose. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, sink and forward. You want to lean forward a bit on your chair. Feel free. But then with a more neutral spine. And I'm pointing my toes for a sharper sensation through the front of my lower leg, front of my foot. Release that, shake it out. Okay, opposite leg comes forward now. So left leg, engage, grip the sides of your chair, and lift that leg up and pause, breathe. Keep pressing your sitting bones down. Try not to round in your spine. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Lower spine, both feet forward. And then if you want, you might need to come back on your chair a bit here so that your sides are catching some of it. Lift the legs up. It might be just an inch. Engage, breathe. Nice, let that go. Slide your feet back, cross your right leg over your left. Inhale your arms up. If you're joining, exhale. And then opposite, so left arm over right. Point the toes, inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, now you're taking flexion in your spine as your elbows go up. Yeah, inhale, come on up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Nice. Inhale. And pause, you might lean forward a bit, but with more neutral spine, or even just slightly an extension. Very good. Right, review that. Shake it out. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale to lower over the legs. You decide the distance between your feet here. Inhale, halfway lift, and let your arms come out to the sides as you do that. Exhale, lower. Or come all the way up, whatever way it works. That's good. Full breath and let it go. There you go. Like, okay, so we're going to come up off of the chair again. And do that slowly. Move the chair when you're ready to use the same sort of grip. And this time, right hand will be on the chair. Feet are about hip distance. Let's grip the left ankle again if you're joining me. You can use the chair for balance. And then feel free to stay here or rotate your hand to the inside of your foot, externally rotate your shoulder, and then start to kick back any amount. Slide the chair forward a bit here as you do this. And you might keep rotating your hips down. I'm going to come down onto my forearms. Bend your elbows if I get so I need knees on the forearm here. And then lift the chest, the head towards the foot, breathe in, breathe out, and nice, and out. Now as you release, come back up onto your hand, move slow, and step that foot back, and then slide your chair back towards your body and your right foot forward. So coming into a high lunge, sink into it, back heel is lifted, inhale your left arm up, and then exhale, and drop that knee down towards the mat. So you're kind of coming into this time, you're breathing over your leg, and then pull up and down, breathe in and out. Nice, and then inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, draw your hand to your hip, rotate your legs out to the side. Feel free to keep that right arm on the chair as you extend your left arm back, breathe in and out. And you could release the arm, inhale, squeeze. Exhale, come on down, rotate your hips forward, and then find your chair on your chair, so walk back. Exhale, drop the hips, maybe left arm up. You want to do the right arm as well. And out. And option 2. Breathe. Both hips come back down onto the chair. Straighten the legs, walk them back into the chest. Find vertex, rising. Slide forward into a plank. Make sure your chair is stable. Bend the elbows. Push back up, straight arms. Drop it and flip the chest. Any amount. I can't do this very much here. Feel it all in your body and your abdomen. And my chair is pretty slippy, so I'm going to be cautious there. Back slowly when you can. Spine towards the chair, feet stacked under hips, or ankle stacked under hips, so hips apart as well. Left hand on the chair, reach your right hand for your ankle. Touch to the water top and stay here. This is nice. Or turn your fingertips to the outside of the foot, rotate your shoulder, and you might slide your chair forward a bit and start to kick up and back. And again, you can stand your hand or you can lower onto your forearm here and then lift. You might try, see what it feels like to turn your right hip forward a bit and then lift the chest and lift the head towards that back foot. Release. Great, and slowly release. Keep gripping the chair as you step your foot back. You might slide the chair back and reposition that front foot. Right arm lifts up. Back knee drops and hovers above the ground. Hold 2 times. And then lift up, inhale. Right hand to the hip. Rotate through the leg. Left hand can stay on the chair or lift up. Breathe. Inhale, squeeze up. Exhale, your arms are up, coming on down, stepping forward, sitting back into your chair. And then staying here, we're lifting one arm, both arms. And if you wanted to challenge your balance, you could also ground your shoulders and lift your heels, then take a little lower space, but feel free to use the chair as support, if needed or desired. Inhale, exhale, release, and then walk it back. Find that downward facing dog like shape. You pedal out your feet. Yeah, and then slide forward, but this time I want you to turn your chair. And if you may want blankets or even a pillow or something on your chair here too, we're going to use it for forward fold. So you may have done this in restorative yoga. So you could do a wide leg for sure, or a closer fold. But I want you to be able to allow the chair to really take that weight of your upper body. So this is going to probably look pretty different depending on what kind of chair you have. But for me, I'm going to come down to the chair with my forearms, and then take a little halfway lift now, and then lengthen and fold back down, and then drop my head onto the chair, and let my arms come on the side of the body. But chair might gather your arms in a different way. And you can kind of slide it a little bit further back, and then I'm going to bend my knees, just take my weight into it. So we're going to be here for a little while, so you get heavy, you get comfy. And if staying on the forearms works better, that's totally fine as well. So holding for about 2 minutes or so. Be cautious of the way blood is flowing. If you start to feel dizzy or anything, of course, come up and lift halfway. If your neck is kind of creaked, you want to get a little lower or a little closer to the chair so that your head isn't, your chin isn't lifted kind of higher than your chest. Yeah. So you want this to be an inversion. You want your head under your heart. So if you're really far from the chair, you might walk a little closer. Yeah, and find a little bit more of a leaning into the chair. Onto the chair. More Uttanasana than down dog or Ardha Uttanasana. So a few more breaths. And as you release, I want you to first just climb up a little bit higher. You start with forearm breathing off the palm and let your head and your heart settle. Roll up or slowly come up to Jennie. Take your time. We're going to sit back down on our chairs. If you have any layers that you'd like for a seated Shavasana, then feel free to grab some layers. And you may also want pillows or blankets here. And keep a pillow nearby if you have one, or a blanket nearby if you have one. Inhale, let's sweep both arms up. And then exhale. Take the hands down. And one more time, we'll take our left leg and just cross it over our right. But this time, you might even take your feet and walk them like a little bit more to the side, and then take your right hand and just press it into your knee. Opposite arm can grip the back of your chair, and we'll take another twist. And now feel free to stay here, or you can wrap one arm around your body, like so. So your fingertips come to the opposite edge of your lower back, or you can grip the opposite side of your chair. And then third option, you could reach your right arm back and rotate your feet. So lifting that arm and keeping it off of the chest. I'm going to twist a little bit less, just being cautious of my abdomen, but feel free to twist as deeply as your body is craving. And then come on back to center. Take your time, unravel your legs, shake them out. You might even kind of tap your feet on the ground. And then let's do that on the other side. The opposite leg crosses, right over left. And then you can kind of walk your feet over to the side as you press that knee in the opposite direction and start to turn from your waist, grip the back of your chair, wrap your arm around your lower back, or reach back and breathe. Got a long spine. And the twist is again kind of traveling from the base upward. And then release slowly as you come to center, unravel. Tap out the feet, inhale, both arms up overhead. Exhale one more time, just folding down over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Climb up to a comfortable seat. Take a moment to sit towards the edge of your seat. Turn your palms. You can take fingertips together and put your fingers out for that inner smile mudra. Inhale, lengthen, and then take a breath in through your nose. Sigh it out through your mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. One more. And then pause. Take inventory of your inner landscape of what's going on inside. And slowly release and reach for your prop. Now if you have a pillow, it might be nice to just place it behind your back here. You could also place a blanket there or a blanket underneath your seat. And then just widen your legs again and start to lean back into your chair. Then you can keep your hands on your thighs, or you can place them anywhere else that feels right. You could also let them hang along the sides of the body. For me, I feel kind of most comfortable here with them on my sides. And you can drop your head back if you're able to, if you're up against a wall. Otherwise, closing the eyes and just softening into a more relaxed physical body, softening through the face and the jaw. And if at any point you need to change your position, that's fine. We'll be silent for a few minutes and you'll hear my voice and my bell, my singing bowl calling you back to my voice, to concentration, to class. But for now, resting, drifting, that feels good, breathing, breathe. can stay in this softened state. If you need to relax or adjust rather to be more relaxed, feel free to do so. Drawing your attention back to my voice, this is a reading from Dear Human by Courtney Walsh, one that I first read 4 years ago in November on a dark Wednesday evening. It's time for humanity to write new parables, new voices, a new language. It's time for new books and new songs, new pictures. Tradition and nostalgia serve their place to bond us and then to separate us. Fear kept us from grace. It kept us from one another. It kept us from the divine. It kept us lonely and isolated and frightened, always frightened. But now is the time for clean slates and fresh starts and blank pages. Ancient wisdom in the modern age is an anchorism if it's not seen through love's lens. If it is being used to separate us, then it's not truly wisdom at all. It's simply more of the same old story. But I know deep within that our story has a happy ending. This is not head in the sand stubbornness. This is not blind, defiant denial. It is what I know. And if you are honest with yourself, you know it too. We just get scared and we forget, so we reach for the comfort of old familiar ways and wounds. There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of our story. It's just not the best part. The best part has yet to be written, and it starts with asking new questions. Like, what if we were guided by a higher hand? What if it's all unfolding according to a deeper plan? What if there is not one truth, but many truths that all blend in a harmonic cosmic symphony? What if we start to change our core questions and stop asking, why am I here? And start asking, how can I love bigger and be loved more authentically? What if we stop asking ourselves how we can make a better living and instead, or a better life, and instead ask, how can I shine? How can, with whatever I'm already doing, can I help others to also shine? What if we seek different answers? What if there are no answers or questions greater than our own capacity, privilege, nature to be whole and happy and healthy and free? What if we tend to our own vibrational essence, instead of getting pulled off center and alignment by what others choose to think or feel or be? What if we serve from a full and overflowing well rather than an easily depleted one? What if we all join together and create a community, a family, a society of kindness and caring, being true to our spirits and embodying, embracing, sending, bending, and intending our radiance? What if we rise in love instead of falling in fear? So starting to move slowly, stretch, reawaken, and realign in the spine. You might come closer to the edge of your chair and place your hands back down on your thighs, perhaps in that mudra once again. Eyes could be closed. Take a full breath in through your nose. Let it go through your mouth. And then you might join me in an Om, and your hands could stay where they are or move to the center of your body, palms pressing together. And take another full breath here together, in and out. And then perhaps an Om inhale to begin.
Bow to yourself and to each other. Om Shanti, peace. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you all so much. We'll come back together in the park or on Zoom. And it sounds like we have a better Zoom setup than we have in a while, so that's good. Sam D has bought a tripod for my phone so we don't leave you in my pocket. Hopefully you got some ideas around all the things that you can do on or with a chair from that practice, and we'll talk more about it after break. So you have an hour to either get to the park or set up Zoom. I'd love to see some of you all in the park. That would be lovely. But if not, no worries. We'll be on Zoom. Yeah, so see you soon. Let me know if you have questions. I'm going to be at Arcana pumping, and then I'm going to make my way over to the park and get out of here so Vincent can teach his class.
Thanks, Jenny. Jenny, just I have my external hard charger. Just bring a USB charger for your phone, and that's all. Just a USB cord.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Amelia.
Thanks, guys.
And unless anyone else needs something, I'm going to log out of Zoom just to save a little bit of battery.
Okay. Do we need to let you know if we're going to just do Zoom, Jenny?
Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, I think so. It's a little hectic this morning, so.
Okay. If you feel like after lunch you want to join us, that's always an option too.
Okay. Thank
Okay, cool. I know you have a drive though too.
you. Yeah.
All right, bye.